time now to sample Kawasaki's all-new middleweight naked bike, the Z750. From a distance, the Z750 looks a whole lot like its bigger brother we met last summer, the Z1000, except perhaps for the nose job. In fact, at the heart of this fighter, you'll find the same fuel-injected, liquid-cooled inline-4 as the Z1000. Only the bore and stroke have been altered to create the required 748 cc's of displacement. That new middleweight displacement also required Kawasaki to shrink the fuel system's twin butterfly throttle bodies down to 34 millimeters. Ditto on the frame. Take a closer look and you'll see it's virtually the same unit found on the Thau. Meanwhile, up front, 41 millimeter fork tubes handle the suspension duties, while out back, there's a fully adjustable rear shock. Stopping is handled by a pair of 300 millimeter discs, sporting twin piston calipers. Meanwhile, out back, there's a single 220 millimeter disc. So how does the new Z750 package work out on the open road? Well, this week we invited an above-average street rider named Ellen Foster to sample the Z750 during a recent impromptu naked bike shootout. Here's what she had to say after all the dust had settled. Well, Ellen, it's sort of less than ideal conditions today. It's been cold, to be sure, and the rain has been threatening, and actually we're just starting to get some drops here. But still, you're a big fan of Kawasaki, and you have one fairly similar at home. What do you think?
This one, fantastic. Loved it, handled well, nice and smooth in the curves, good brakes in my opinion. Didn't notice any buzziness at all. Now with the speeds we were doing today, we weren't doing much over 100 or anything like that, so it might be a little buzzy above that 110, 120, but nice and smooth, enjoyed it immensely. Yeah.
Well, this is certainly Kawasaki's version of a naked bike. Friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, calls it a hooligan bike, to be sure. They really want you to see that motor, and it really stands out. What did you think of the motor itself?
Good torquiness, responded well, nice smooth gear changing, and didn't take it nice up through all 6 gears, very smooth, and hooligan bike I would definitely agree with, yes. This is one to go and have a good time on the back roads.
Now what about the brakes? We know it goes. How does it stop?
I thought it was great. Some people will say the Kawasaki are a little soft in that, especially the front, but I didn't find that at all. But like I said, I ride a Kawi, so maybe I'm more used to it. Didn't think anything of it. Nice and smooth. Certainly wasn't putting it on its front end or anything, but which is good. Keep both wheels on the ground.
I had a chance to jump on actually 3 naked bikes last night, Yamahas, Hondas, and the Kawasaki. And of the 3, I found this the shortest wheelbase. Did you notice anything like that?
Not that, but certainly you can tell the shorter wheelbase because you can turn it around on a dime. I was certainly noticing that even with the GSXR. It was much easier to turn around, really turned on a dime, no problem doing our U-turns, things like that. Was
right.
easy to handle, good weight. I believe it's only 430 pounds. Not a heavy bike by any means. I'm not an Amazon woman, so it handled nice.
How did you find the riding position?
I like it myself. I like a more upright position, and that even though it doesn't have the fairing and that, but the little fly screen in the front, surprisingly enough, I didn't notice a lot of wind. Perhaps at highway speeds in the 400 series, you would be more noticeable, but on today's ride, wasn't a problem for me.
What about the mirrors and the cockpit layout, the controls?
The only negative thing I would say about it, for me personally, was the setup of the mirrors. I found it was the only thing I didn't really care for.
Right.
I'm not sure if they're too close or too high up or a combination of both, and I'm not sure how you would adjust it to make it work well for yourself. As for the display for the tack and everything at the
what
front.
do you think of this new move to the tack like that?
It's cool. It definitely. Some say it's like a Nintendo game or something, but I thought it was cool. I didn't find it that hard to read and that. Now maybe being a dull day, it made it easier.
Yeah.
Perhaps in a sunshiny, bright day with the glare, it could be a little more difficult to read than the regular dials myself. I noticed it had a clock feature, which I love a bike that has
Everybody
a clock.
likes the clock.
Everybody likes the clock.
Now what about just the overall styling and the look of the bike? Because certainly this is back to the kind of Mad Max era, and there are sort of that triangular shapes that are running through the whole design. The tank itself has that diamond shape. Are you a fan of this look?
I like it. When with the angles and that, hugging the tank in with your knees was really nice, and I think it goes with the hooligan look and that. Red's my color. I love the color.
Yeah.
So I like it. Appeals to me.
So who would you recommend this bike to? What's this bike designed for?
Go out and have a damn good time. So,
Yeah.
But, I think anyone could ride it myself. It's a good seat height. It's only about 31 inches. I believe that's what the specs say. I had both feet firmly planted on the ground. I'm 5'6" with a 31-inch inseam.
Mm-hmm.
It was no problem. For a shorter person, even a woman in that, because of the weight, I think it's a nice all-rounder. In my opinion, I think everybody would enjoy it.
Including yourself.
Including myself. I'd be happy to have one in my garage.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Great
It's been
job.
a pleasure. Thank you.